They don't even seem to be looking for him. I haven't seen any news reports. It's not like we're blind to know what they're doing when they're searching for a baby. There would be media everywhere. But there's no media anywhere saying that they're searching. Yet they're putting out reports that they're currently searching for baby Emmanuel. No, they ain't. They lying to us, and they continue to lie to us, and that's the biggest problem in this case. And so, spaghetti at the wall, let's do some speculating so that we can give them some ideas of where to look for baby Emmanuel, because they seem to be, I don't know, at a roadblock. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. We are live, my darling. Welcome back, everybody. Mama D is in the house with you. So glad you are here. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And thank you to my replay crew. You guys have been keeping me alive while I've been off recovering. We also have good news. Jennifer Swain is feeling better. I now ask if you could send Carla Burgeon some love. She's not feeling well, as a lot of us have different ailments. So a love, all kinds, and healing to my beautiful family. All right, you guys. So I'm back over here. They did an arraignment yesterday. We're going to go over that. And we're going to discuss the theories to give law enforcement some ideas where baby Emmanuel could be. There are things that are strange and peculiar and almost unfathomable in the baby Emmanuel Haro case. Now, some people call it the Rebecca and Jake case, but it's not about them. Yes, it's about them in court and us getting justice for baby Emmanuel. But it's really about baby Emmanuel. Now, I will tell you, from what I understand, rumor has it, okay, a strong rumor because the person was there and saw it and went and gave their report, that on the Tita said hola at the arraignment and was detained. But what are they going to do? Be like, you can't say hi in a different language. Don't say hi to anybody in the courthouse. I think that we have a law enforcement that is way overconfident, which is creating a big, big problem that all of us can see, but they are too overconfident. They have on their little, we're going to lie about crap, right, glasses, but that's not going to work with the jury, because the jury is not going to try Jake and Rebecca for what happened to a previous child, because the people that are on the jury have to go off of what is evidentiary to this case. And so I think it is better and wiser to not only find this child for legality reasons, which seems to be not a priority right now for law enforcement that we can see. Like I said, where's the media? Oh my God, they're over here looking. Oh my God, they're over there looking. No, not happening. And so with a channel our size, it's usually a million different theories on every case, like a million. The Idaho 4 case, I could start right now and tell you a different theory for the next 10 years every day that I was given, right, that somebody shared. But with baby Emmanuel, there's only about 3 solid theories, which is unusual. Now, 2 of those theories could be married into one, and it would be very simple to do, which has me very concerned. But it also is a nudge, nudge, hey, hey, you need to go look over here, say no more, kind of hit towards law enforcement, LE, going to do this. And I know you guys, you're going to be like, they're never going to do that. Then they may never find baby Emmanuel, because it might be exactly what they did with baby Emmanuel. So we saw Jake out in the field, right? We're going to get into that. That's one theory, that the baby maybe disposed of. But there are other theories, and we're going to get into it. Hi, Mary Dalmatians. Hi, Zozo. Hello, everybody. Hi, Nikki UK. Good D for you. Welcome back on the detained. Yes, detained for a second time on the Tita for saying hola. God forbid we say hello in a different language. What's wrong with saying hola? Does it strike a nerve? I'm just saying. Hey, Just Breathe. Number 40, what about you guys? Y'all, that's not even half of us. Can we get some love, please? I love you. Hi, Jennifer Swain. Good to know you're feeling a little better there, love. It's the prayers that work. And that's the other thing. We need to all keep praying for baby Emmanuel. And that's one of the big reasons I'm here today. Hey, Viv, sorry I haven't said hi to a single person today. I'm just going to reintroduce the Heidi protocol again. Hiya, Heidi's. I have no idea, Viv. But hello to you. Hey, nobody cares. Welcome back, my beautiful. We have a lot of people here, so I'm just grabbing a few. Hey, Ray, good to see you. This is a strange case, and I covered even a stranger case yesterday about Sarah Grace Patrick, and you think you know, but I bet you don't. I did a deep dive on that case yesterday, and I need you to see that because we're going to be going back to that case, and you're going to want to be caught up, so go watch that video. All right, you guys. Just Bree says, I didn't think Ahmad was there yesterday at the arraignment. A lot of people saw him, and he said, hola. Hey, Vicky. Hi, Lizanne. Welcome back. Long time no see, lovely. Rach, not that Rach. Debbie Gazzardo, Jennyville, Nikki UK. How is everybody doing? Hey, Viv Viv again. All right, let's get over. We'll come back to our chatter here. Hi, Paula. And let's get into this a little bit. And let's just talk today about the theories. So first off, I want to share with you this. This is how there were locals there. Now, this is from On Scene TV, and I only grabbed, I think it's a minute clip, but they did interview locals that were in the courtroom and able to see the actual arraignment. One lady had Jake on one side and Rebecca on the other, and she tells you about the whole thing with on the Tita. But this is how the community is still showing up. And I wanted to share just this one person out of all of them because I felt that she's so authentic and really captures the heart of what most of us feel.
You're here for the Haro case, I'm assuming?
Yes, we want justice. We want answers. We want to find
Ignore
him.
the ad. I didn't put it. It's not
baby.
my ad.
He's our baby now. Everybody from all over the place has been on this case. I've been on it since day one when I heard. I have children of my own. I have a 5-year-old that, to me, it means a lot. We want answers. We really do. We want to know where he's at. Tell us, please, where he's at, and we will go ahead and take care of him now because we're not getting the answers we need. We're just getting a runaround, and we want justice for this little guy. We truly do, and we feel it in our hearts, and it's many people that are here that feel this case so close to home, and it's going on so much in the world now, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
It does need to stop. What is the petition? I'm going to look. Let's take that down. Well, actually, let's put that up. I'll just go on top of it. Hold on. I want to see what we have for a petition. Do you have the link? We are live, so we can check out the petition. Emmanuel Haro petition. Let's check this out. Okay, we got to go to our website, and then we got to grab our website. I have a lot to show you, so I just want to make sure. And get to all that too. But we are live, so we have the ability to check things out. Preventing child abuse and implementing stricter laws. Amen. Here we go. Beaumont, Banning, Cherry Valley, Oak Glen, Gabazon. This person is Larissa Fortune, and she says, I've started a petition to create a new law on behalf of little baby Emmanuel Haro. News of his disappearance and what his parents did to him has rocked our community and surrounding areas. His father, Jake Haro, has a previous conviction for child abuse, yet he was let go and not stopped from being around children. That is the purpose behind this petition, to enact a new law that will prevent convicted abusers from accessing children. Please sign. So we're going to click it. Right here, you guys. Let me grab this. I'll put it in chat. Oh, it won't even all fit. Lord have mercy. Okay, I won't put it in chat. Let me see if I can get a different way to grab the link. Let's see if this link is shorter. No. Good Lord, that link is the longest link I've ever seen. All right, well, after the live, go down and I will pin it down below and you'll see this paragraph, which is a link, and you can click it and go sign the petition. I want to talk about what this involves. So let's adjust our screen. Let me see. Let's get it in here. I want you to be able to see the whole thing. It's going to make it kind of small for you, but like I said, I'll pin the link so that you can do this. It is alive, my darling. Okay. Oh, well, we're going to have to lose that little part. So already they've got 6,183 signatures, which is cool. And it says the issues. Baby and children deserve to be safe, but right now our laws do not go far enough to protect them. Megan's law created a registry for convicted ex-offenders, giving families the power to know when dangerous individuals are living in their communities. But children continue to suffer and die at the hands of violent abusers, whose crimes are not actual in nature, leaving a devastating gap in protection. The tragic case of baby Emmanuel in California has shown us, once again, that our current system fails to keep babies and children safe from repeat abusers. We cannot wait until another innocent life is lost. While baby Emmanuel's case happened in California, this is not a California issue. Across the United States, children are being left vulnerable because abusive parents and guardians are allowed access to them despite past convictions. This petition calls on lawmakers across the country to act, starting in California, to pass a law to protect our children. We, the undersigned, call on California lawmakers to restrict custody and unsupervised visitation rights for individuals with child abuse convictions. Create a statewide registry of individuals convicted of severe child abuse, similar to Megan's Law, accessible to the public. Require community notification when a high-risk child abuser is released into our neighborhood. Ensure schools, daycare centers, and youth organizations have access to this information when making hiring and safety decisions. This is not about punishment. It is about protection. Every child has a fundamental human right to grow up free from fear, harm, and abuse. No child should be forced to live in fear of the very people who should protect them, just as families deserve the right to know if there is a dangerous abuser is living next door, working in their community, or has access to vulnerable children. Together, we can demand action from our legislatures to close the dangerous loophole in child protection laws. Sign the petition to stand for baby Emmanuel and all children who deserve safety, protection, and a chance to grow up without fears. All right, you guys. So if you want to sign the petition, it is here. I'm just making sure you can't see my private details online. I'm signing the petition right now. There we go. Complete it. What do I do? Yes, I'll chip in $7 for this. Let's go ahead and do that. How do I do that? Oh, Lord, you can't see you can. Okay, I can't do that part because it'll show my details online, but I will afterwards. You get it. Sign the petition. And again, I will get you the link that is not a mile long. Well, it will be a mile long, but it'll be in the comments pinned down below. That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Just Breathe. Excellent work. All right, if y'all have headphones on, take them off because Just Breathe is going to get the scream. You got it. It's our goat. See our little goat? Can you see? See the goat? That's excellent work. Thank you. Something is off. Rebecca even mentioned a 16-year-old in her first jail interview, and she doesn't have a 16-year-old that we know of. Angel of Christ, welcome as a member. Welcome. Please tap the thumbs up to Mama D and Familia. Hey, Ruby. Ruby Bungie says, wonder if Emmanuel had spinal injury. No picture of him sitting up. Oh, my God, right? Ugh. This case it hits hard. It hits very hard. Carol says, this law needs to be sent to the President of the United States. We might get something done. Well, I signed the petition and we're talking about it. I just found out about it, but I'm all for it. Nobody cares says, same in the UK, and these poor babies end up the victims. It is heartbreaking. It truly is. Let's get back over to this, you guys. I want to talk about the arraignment and what we have update. So here's the briefing. That's all this is just an up-to-date briefing. And, right, surely all the lawmakers would want this to happen. Mary Dalmatian says, I'm sorry, sending you all my love and prayers. Oh, Ocean Deep, we love you. Lizanne says it looked like at the spine, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get this briefing out there, and then we're going to break into the theories to give law enforcement some ideas of where they might want to check. So here's the briefing. On September 4th, 2025, Jake and Rebecca Haro pleaded not guilty to murder and filing a false police report in the case of their missing 7-month-old son, Emmanuel. Key updates from the court hearing and investigation are: pleas entered. The couple pleaded not guilty to the charges during their arraignment in their Riverside, California. Arrest charges. Jake, 32, and Rebecca, 41, were arrested on August 22nd, 2025, after investigators found inconsistencies in the report that Emmanuel was kidnapped on August 14th. Prosecutors believe the baby died from abuse sometime between August 5th and August 14th, and that the parents faked the kidnapping report of his death. That doesn't make any sense. Fake the kidnapping report of his death. Nobody reported him dead. All right, whatever. Search for remain. Okay, this is the part I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? There ain't nobody out there looking for this baby. Says search for remains. Authorities continue to search for Emmanuel's body. No, I don't see that. Which has not yet been found. You can't find something if you don't look for it. But investigators believe that they have a strong indication of the general area where, oh, sorry guys, I do it every time. They have a strong indication of the general area where his remains may be. Well, let I remind you that time is of the essence. Because, what? Okay. Prior child abuse conviction, Riverside County District Attorney Michael Hestron noted that Jake Haro had a previous conviction for felony child cruelty that left a different child permanently disabled, but a judge, which this is not all true. This is an omission, which is a lie, leaving out the truth. It says, but a judge had sentenced him to probation instead of prison. Hold on. Let's bring this back up. Let's bring this back up. Right here, let's remember this, okay? This is the guy, Sam Tola. Sam Tola is the prosecution that did not file the correct charges on Jake. The judge could only go with the highest available charge based on what the prosecution offered. So Sam Tola, the prosecutor, dropped the ball too. Who hired him? Let's not forget him. Right here. The man accusing the judge of doing all the wrongdoing. And need I remind you that the prosecution submits to the DA the charge prior to trial for the DA to sign off on. So who signed off on that charge for Jake, which was an undercharge? Because California does have a felony charge. That means that you would go to prison for 25 years to life, preventing you from doing this again to another child. If the child is under 8 and paralyzed by, right? So it's the prosecution that originally dropped the ball and tied the hands of the judge, but it's this dude that, in my humble opinion, is full of crap and lying to us. Custody of another child in the Haro case, a 2-year-old sibling of Emmanuel, was taken into protective custody by Riverside County Child Protective Services on August 17th. Next court date, the couple remains in custody on $1 million bail. Why give them a bail? Why do these folks have a bail? Gibbs says, oh, he paralyzed baby promise. But, yep. And probably shaking and fractured. Yep. I can't read all that because of YouTube. This is just crazy to me. And the DAs are elected officials, people in the district. Use your voting power. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A newborn. Yes. Very, very much. So, they have $1 million bail, and a felony settlement conference is set for September 16th. What does that mean? A felony settlement. What, they're going to wrap up his other charges nice and neat? Even though he violated his probation after he got off without serving a day in jail, basically, and paralyzing a 10-week-old baby, right? He then violates his probation and parole or whatever with rugs. He's a felon, but he has a weapon. Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about? Nothing ever got done on any of those. So, it's court. Hola! I feel like emailing that DA Hola every day. Just emailing him the word Hola. Just hello. But I don't want to be detained. I don't want to be detained. Ocean Deep, do you think he stuck him and gave him brain and did not want to grow up? See, I can't even read some of that, y'all. It's hard. Right, Shauna says, I don't even know why people that do stuff like that don't have why you give them a child. Don't waste the money. People like that don't need to be out and around. Right, I kind of get what you're saying. Lisa Elliott says, I think this baby, look at his eyes in the photos. Hey, Court Fraudster's back. We missed you, lovely. Yes, corruption going on when the DA is passing the buck off onto the judge, but we really know the truth. And that's the very DA that hired Sam Tula. And Sam Tula is the one that didn't drop the right charges on Jake. You think so? Very much so. There's something wrong with the baby's eyes. All right. Are you guys ready? Trigger warning. If you have headphones on, I'm about to scream the goat. We're about to deep dive into the theories. Okay. Are you ready? Not my favorite part, but we've got to give Ellie at least some thoughts here. Have they checked? And I know all of you think I'm talking to you like you're in preschool. No, remember, I'm talking to law enforcement. So if I get condescending or any of that, it's not to my beautiful viewer. It's not to you. All right? If I'm talking down to you, it's not you, lovely. Remember, we're giving law enforcement a nudge to go check some places, right? So, have you checked the landfill? See, there's this neat little thing called trash gridding, right? That's how they found a lot of these cases that were very young individuals, like Quentin Simon, right? They found remnants and evidence in the landfill. Even though time had passed, way past, they were able to go there, grit it off, and know how the garbage was dumped and where in what section. They knew how deep to go. Just saying. It can be done, but every day is of the essence. But we've already listened to all the trash area people, the landfills. We've listened to them. Y'all ain't been there. Can't even fake it for us? I would like law enforcement to consider this. What if this was your family member? What if this is a baby born in your family? Would you not want him home to lay him to rest? And maybe you feel that there's no one in Emmanuel's family that cares enough to make it worth their while, your while. But we, the people, demand that you look for this child, because we, the people, love baby Emmanuel, and he is now our baby. We as a collective have adopted baby Emmanuel, and we want his remains found, and we want to be able to give him a proper burial, unless it's not possible. And is that why they're not looking for baby Emmanuel? They could not have ever found Harmony Montgomery. And now we know why, because the trial's over and her father's in prison, and Harmony Montgomery was literally no more. So is that what we have in this case? Is that why the theory one of looking in the landfills, along with other places like that where trash can be dumped, right? Is that why it's not being investigated? Are they thinking that there is no remains truly left of the baby? They reported there was no way to determine where in the landfill he could be, not knowing where the trash went or something like that. That's a lie. That is a lie. That is not how it works. I used to date a guy for 8 years that worked for the trash company in a small town even. It has to, by law, be gridded off and tracked, and you have to know where that truck dumped that load, where it came from. They even have lot codes assigned to the dump and the date, and it's actually tracked in this place called an office. So if they're reporting that, which I never saw that report ever from anybody, they're full of shite, whoever told you that. Just Bree says, wasn't there another case where they found the baby in the landfill? Well, Quentin Simon was one for sure that I know of. I'm not 100% sure on all of them, but I do know it happens. That's right, Debbie. You touched our lives and souls, and baby Emmanuel has. Yes, he has. Maybe Mama D, it will be one of them one day. Maybe then I don't wish that on anybody, right? That's right. To the monsters, Jennifer Swain says. Emmanuel's not y'all's baby. He's ours now. That's right. So, one of the theories, that you've all talked about is, did he get put in a landfill? Well, the way that law enforcement is acting without going to the landfills is that no, that is not what they feel. Unless they feel that he was reduced to bones, and then in the landfill they most likely would not find him. So unless there's been some reduction, if you follow me, that's the only reason I could see it. Just Breeze says there's a video of Ahmad talking to landfill workers, and they start to drive away and stop and look back and tell Ahmad, keep it up. I think they know he's on the right track. I bet they're wondering why they haven't had anybody searching out there for the baby. So why lie to us and say you're searching when you're not? So that's one theory. The next theory is that baby Emmanuel could be buried in the casket with Rebecca's cousin. Or nephew. So Rebecca's nephew Charlie passed away and was buried on August 5th. If you look at the dates over here, let's go back to the dates. This is very peculiar to me. Prosecutors believe that hold on, let me fix the paragraph. Right here where I've highlighted it. Let me make it bigger for you. This is really bizarre. Okay. All right. The dates are between August 5th and August 14th. Isn't that strange that the police would suggest that August 5th could be the day that Emmanuel disappeared from the earth? Because that's Charlie's day that he was cremated, put into an urn, and then they had a huge casket for that one little urn. And then Charlie was laid to rest on August 5th. The first day that law enforcement are suggesting that that could have been the day, right? Carla says they say baby disappeared between August 5th and 14th. Rebecca was at the funeral on the 5th with the 2-year-old. No, didn't have the 2-year-old. Well, I didn't see the 2-year-old. And they do say she had the 2-year-old, though. And Jake was home with Emmanuel. Do y'all think that's when he hurt him? Carly, you could be right. Damn. And all they got to do is go out there to the fresh dirt and make a little bit bigger area. Anna says, can't their vehicle be traced to see locations before and after the baby went missing? Yeah, but they'd have to actually do the work. Right, Jennifer Swain. At least the monsters are in jail, unlike Sebastian's mother and stepfather. Right, right. All right, let's listen to this. Listen to this. This is all about back when on the Tita was talking about, when Ahmad was talking about Jake's ex-attorney, that fly-by-night, you know who I'm talking about, that he actually believed he carried the casket. So we know there was a casket. Plus, I found the actual funeral of Charlie. Once again, I found it. Then I lost it. Now I found it. And I can show you. It's a casket, even though he was cremated.
But that's when a lawyer will be presented to her, because the lawyer has made it clear that he's not representing her. He said, let's not mistake that she's not my client. Jake is. And he's Jake's client from the first case. Mm-hmm. You know that? Or something like that. Like,
yes, I'd heard that. Yeah.
And I believe he was carrying the casket of his brother too, the lawyer, at the funeral for the cousin that just passed away. I could have sworn. I mean, this man has a big old belly, and that belly is not easy to get. Like, not everybody's walking around with big old 50-pound drums in the front, and this dude got one, and he was carrying that casket, and I could see this dude, and I'm like, is that the lawyer? So the lawyer's just like all tied into his family, like personally.
All right. So let's talk about that. But before we do, you guys, just so you know, I am self-sponsoring, and I want to let you know a few of the things that are going on in our member section. If you would like to dive a little deeper so that you can start to really discern between what you think is going on and what is really going on in your true crime case, unlocking the key to the truth and seeing through the deception. I am starting on September 9th. Our True Crime Tarot class starts. And if you are a Starlight World member, you will need to upgrade to be able to do this. The class is $9.99 for the entire month. We meet weekly. We have lives. We have live member chats. There's going to be a library full of information for you. You'll be able to watch replay. If you do miss a live, you can watch the video lessons over and over and learn at your own pace. And we also have a Facebook group private chat for those that are in the class. Thank you, Cassandra, for the $10 snooper chat. Thank you, lovely. So I invite you to find out, do you have the skills it takes to crack a case? I think you do. I think a lot of the hunches that these detectives get and these gut knowings that the investigators get are actually their intuition. Why not give it a little helping hand, right? And also, you guys, we have our 1111 True Crime deck, which is free shipping right now anywhere in the world, with a lot of satisfied customers, and I am caught up on orders. So we're back to free shipping. Grab it now before that expires. As well as, it doesn't stop there. We have another channel. It's called Crime Story Mama. And with Crime Story Mama, we're about to jump over in about 22 minutes and start a reading on Sebastian Rogers and the secrets that are in his life. Remember, he's 16 now, went missing at 15 from Hendersonville, Tennessee. A lot of people wonder what the secrets are. Well, we're going to find out together. And then, staying on Sebastian Rogers, Sunday, I'm going to reveal the painting I did for Sebastian Rogers for our weekly charity auction. All proceeds, 100%, go to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, our way of giving back. It's also a great deal of fun. We get bidding wars. I kid you not. Now, 2 weeks ago, I did have to take, our first time I took off was last weekend because I was terribly ill. But the week before that, we were able to raise off of one painting. The highest bid was $210 for the National Center for Missing Exploited Children, and it goes directly to them, no middleman. So, all right, I just wanted to say thank you all, and make sure and jump into any of that interests you. Let's get back to baby Emmanuel, the urn in the casket. Y'all, a huge, where's my hands? There it is. A huge casket. And it's got an urn in it. Is there only one urn or two? Right? So we're still stuck on that same theory. So we're on theory 2. And this is that the baby could be in the casket. And I'll tell you, the next theory goes right along with this.
But her little daughter was with her. Take a look.
See? That's the casket being lowered into the ground, y'all. That's Charlie's. Oh, I'm not showing you. Hold on.
Announce another celebration.
All right, let me show you for real. There was no casket. Cassandra, you're incorrect. I'm showing you on screen the actual casket. Hector, well, and it wouldn't matter because Hector passed away in 2021. Hector has nothing to do with this. He passed away in the year 2021. It's now 2025. This is Charlie. This is the August 5th funeral with a casket. And this is Charlie. It is the nephew of Rebecca, who has been cremated, is in an urn and put into a casket. And yes, I promise you, factually, there is a casket. I don't know if you're not seeing this right here. Let me make it bigger for y'all. This is the actual metal part outside at the graveyard where the casket's been lowered down in it. Yes, this is not Hector. This is Charlie on August 5th. So that's really, really important. Yes, Cassandra, there are 2 deaths. The one on August 5th, the same day that law enforcement is naming as the first day that they suspect that there was no more Emmanuel, is the same day as Rebecca's nephew Charlie's funeral. I kid you not. Right, this is not Hector. This is Charlie. Right, Tony for Freedom. Not many put urns in a casket, but they can. Cheryl, honey, I have a business PayPal. You can pay with your own credit card, and you don't have to log into PayPal. It works for everything. Everything doesn't. You don't even log in. As soon as you click it, you'll be able to enter your own card number and not have to deal with PayPal at all. Because I have the business version, so I accept all form of payments, lovely. Rachel says, welcome to Starlight's Wendy. Welcome to our Starlight world. Now, just so you guys know, to get the tarot class, you would have to upgrade from Starlight world to the tarot class level, just so you know. But thank you very much. And I hope you'll join us on our Sunday where our Starlights come together on normal everyday chat and with me. And we just put a visual in the background and chat it up about whatever. I need to find one of them throwing flowers in the casket. It's so weird, Justy. I sure do. How about one of y'all send it to me, lovelies? Sorry, why don't they exclude that casket? I don't know, honey. It is an expensive way to bury someone, but it brings up, is that weird or creepy? Yeah, it's not about throwing the flowers on. It's about the casket. Do they say the day of the funeral because Emmanuel wasn't seen there? Perhaps so, and the little girl was with them. Justy, can one of my mods please share our email? Thank you, lovely. Yes, exhume. Yeah, why don't they exhume him? That's why I'm doing the video. I'm telling the law enforcement. Okay, after or during or at the same time, however you want to do it, law enforcement, since you can't seem to think of anywhere to look for the baby, I would like you to get a search warrant signed by the judge to go over and exhume that coffin and look and see what's inside that coffin, what's under that coffin, and what could be on top of that coffin, because it could work three ways. If baby Emmanuel actually was deleted on the 4th of August, they could have went out there the night before the coffin was put in, dug a little deeper, put the little baby there and cover him up, and then went to the funerals normal. Number 2, family could be in on this. We had a lot of family talking past tense, and that we know is not good when the baby is just missing. So if they're already talking past tense, I'm guessing they already know, allegedly. And if they already know, did they decide to help protect the family members by laying that baby to rest with Charlie, so that they feel that they're giving him a private burial, but they're not putting the red flags out to the elements and causing their family a lot of issue? So then you'd have after the funeral, wait a day, right? Or that night before they've packed it all down when nobody's looking, which I don't think you'd want to wait. That'd be the worst case scenario. But you could go out there on the night of the 5th and dig a little deep, put the baby in there and cover it up. So exhume, law enforcement. You got the landfill and exhuming Rebecca's cousin's or nephew grave. Okay? Right, Tony for Freedom. At least I'm making some sense to somebody. I've never known anyone to bury a casket. Yep, they do it. In fact, they did it in the Idaho 4 case. With Ethan Chapin, they buried him, but he also was cremated, which nobody believed me, but I proved it. Charlotte says, I find it suspicious that the nephew's funeral was 8/5, but there's not a date of passing, at least wasn't able to find. That's freaked me out. There's a new theory, is that there was no Charlie and that they buried baby Emmanuel. Christine Edwards, it was in 2021. Hold on. Stop with the Hector stuff. I'm going to explain it one more time. Just stop with the Hector stuff. Jake's brother, Hector, died at first of an unknown death. However, it was later discovered that it was an OD. Okay? He died in his sleep, they said, but it was an OD. They were investigated. This was not when Rebecca was part of the family. Rebecca didn't exist. Jake was over here. Different girl. In the year 2021. Emmanuel could not have been born until 2024 at the earliest, most likely 2025. We have 4 years between this man Hector being laid to rest in the ground, between Emmanuel. Stop. The new August 5th funeral is for someone completely different that is Rebecca's nephew, allegedly, named Charlie. So Hector is not any way possible, factually, is not Emmanuel's father, nor could he be. So I'm done with that. Let's move on and keep it real. Okay? Because I've shared that now probably 30 times in the last 2 weeks, and I'm tired of that. You need to understand the case a little bit better. Maple, they were begging for money to bury Charlie with a GoFundMe. I have not seen that, Mabel. I've not seen any GoFundMes for Charlie. I've seen a second GoFundMe, or a GoFundMe for a second funeral for Hector. Jennifer, you've got your husband's ashes on the nightstand, sweetheart. Aw. Okay, that's what I'm asking, Allison Steed, because you're holding the actual second theory. This is what so many of you feel. That you're convinced, says Allison, that Emmanuel is buried under the coffin. The soil would be freshly dug and no one would be the wiser. And it'd be so easy. Jake did not OD. Jake is the father. Charlotte, is it possible with Charlie passing of an overdose, Emmanuel may have been given the same drug for possible injuries and died of an OD too? And are they buried together? Great question, Charlotte. I think it's unusual to bury ashes. It is unusual, but it happened in the Idaho 4 case. It's happened in this case, and I know of a family personally that has done that, so it's not unheard of. Mabel, can you send me the link, please, to my email? Let me go see if there's, oh, well, I won't do it while we're live, but I'll come back to it. There you go. Rhonda says, let me get chat back on the board. Jenny Bill, my mother's wishes before she passed were to have her ashes buried beside her mother and dad, no casket. But there are some that also want a casket. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate you. Yeah, I've never seen that one. Yes, sweetheart, Scottish lass. The parents were arraigned yesterday, pled not guilty, and they're on $1 million bail. There should be no bail, in my opinion, but there's $1 million bail per one, so that'd be $2 million to get them out. Christine Edwards, but what if they kidnapped the 16-year-old baby? 16-year-old and baby killed the 16-year-old, passed the baby off as there because the ex-husband didn't even know she had another baby. I know if I had another baby. I know, right? I guess there's a lot more theories than I really thought about. Right, Rach says it's not unusual in the UK to bury ashes. Hi, Rhonda West. Charlotte says my aunt passed in June and was cremated, but we had a burial and there wasn't a casket. Linda says, I have my oldest son's ashes next to me on my bed because my son knew he was dying and was scared at night. He was 38. Aww. Linda, bless your heart. Just breathe. I think just the casket is what's throwing us all off. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm wanting them to exhume the casket. Right? You can see right here. See this, where I'm using my mouse? Here's a casket. Okay, now. Remember this aunt knowing? If they decided as a family, a small group of them, to bury that baby with the nephew Charlie? I wouldn't be surprised. You know why? Because of this kind of talk by both the grandmother and Jake's sister.
He just has a lazy eye, and that made him more beautiful than anybody I knew, because I loved him so much. It didn't matter what he looked like.
Did you hear that part? So it's all past tense. Okay, thank you, Mabel. Nobody cares. Maybe makes me wonder, how do these people sleep at night? Lies, corruption everywhere. My husband had a straightforward cremation, no casket. Rhonda West says, I thought about baby Emmanuel's remains or ashes could have been the nephew's casket as soon as I saw the video of the funeral, in my opinion. I want that exhumed. And I'm just going to say it. Here's why I'm going to leave your thought. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on this. I'm about to jump off here. But the reason I'm bringing it up, and this is where I'm leaving it today, we're going to say a prayer for baby Emmanuel, but there is also the water cremation that would have reduced him to bones, which could have been added to an already existing urn that was being put in a casket. Are you feeling me? A water cremation on Emmanuel could have been reduced him to nothing but bone fragments, which could have been added to the urn, and him and Charlie, ashes are mixed together and never to be thought of or found. Doesn't take that much brilliance when they're right there talking about ashes, right? And all it takes for water cremation is just lye pellets and water. Let's go ahead, get a prayer up for baby Emmanuel. Lord, heaven above, we ask you, please, we ask you with all of our heart, please allow us to bring this baby home to a place where he can be put to rest, laid to rest in a humane way. We ask the truth to be shown on what has happened to him. Lay protection around all of his siblings that they should never, ever suffer further. We pray for all of the children that are missing, from Lily and Jack Sullivan to Sebastian Rogers to Summer Wells, that we have truth in the cases, and that your strength and power be used to bring justice for all of them. We pray this with all of our hearts. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. It's finished. And that's all we can do right now, my loves. But hopefully we have spurred the interest in the LA to give them some ideas where to look for baby Emmanuel, because we're not okay as a community just to watch you guys do nothing. We need to see the activity of you trying to find this baby. Why are you not at the landfill? Why have you not been thinking about the idea that you're giving us August 1st as a day that this baby may have went missing, and they were at a funeral with a casket and a vase, an urn of ashes? We need to see some activity. We really do. I love you all so very, very much, and I will see you again soon. I love you to the moon and back, always and forever.